Vigilante Williamson here on the 35th episode of the Culture Crime Fighters, joined by none other but my partner in Culture Crime Fighting, Matt from Foulball Productions. How you doing?
Yo, I just realized I still have my Expanse background. This isn't an Expanse stream. My goodness, how unprofessional of me. Now I need space. There we go.
There
now
we
everyone
go.
can feel comfortable. Plus, I've got the green screen. Oh, geez, I'm a mess. Hi, Vig. How's it going, buddy?
It's going, man. It is going.
Good.
The world keeps turning and it keeps burning.
Sentient Dildo, shut up. Stop being accurate. You said I was sleepy as fuck. I am sleepy as fuck. I just woke up.
To be fair,
this early morning shit, this early morning noon show that we do, I suck at waking up.
Honestly, I do too. I went to sleep late and just like, golly, I gotta get up. And so every show I've been doing, I just get up and just hope that I don't sound like a dumbass.
Yeah,
I wake up.
I was watching episodes of Band of Brothers.
You've been doing that.
Yeah, we're doing that. I was supposed to do mine tomorrow, but I had to switch it because I actually have to work tomorrow. So I was like, oof, I'm a few episodes behind, so I had to catch up, and I was up late watching it and passed out. Pat S says, "Remember, gents, it's easier to fight crime in the daylight, but crime doesn't sleep, and neither do I."
Yeah,
at least until I pass out drunk and 4 a.m. or whatever.
Vigilantes work at night, man. What the hell?
That's right.
Batman fucking getting his coffee at Dunkin' before he starts his shift.
Just wiping the crust out of his eyes. The Joker's in line. He's like, not yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll get this done. We get my coffee in, and we can figure this out later, man.
Yeah,
around 9ish.
The Riddler's the barista. Riddle me this. It's like, no riddles. Can I have coffee?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hello, my friend.
Yeah. How are you doing, man? It's been a minute because whenever there either isn't or I host and you're not on the cocktail lounge, it's like an extended time between talking to you.
It's weird, because we do this so regularly. I feel like I haven't streamed in I guess over about a week now.
Yeah.
And it feels weird.
Yeah. It feels like, man, what has Matt been up to? It's been so long.
Not too much. I mean, I went to Houston.
I was about to ask that. How was Houston?
It was great, man. I had a blast. I saw a buddy from LA. He's from Houston, but we went to the Renaissance Fair, which super gay, but good gay,
Okay.
It was really fun. Yeah, it was. I mean, there was lots of it's the biggest Ren fair in the country, I think.
Oh, I did not know that. And real quick, I just want to thank Pat S. He said, please like, share, subscribe. You go share the video on Twitter. Thank you, Pat S.
Is a
please
good guy.
Share.
And he's got the Screaming Eagles as his avatar. So check out Pat S if you want to see all the episodes of people covering Band of Brothers, because it's a multi-channel experience. And he is the orchestrator of the whole thing. So yeah, follow Pat S on Twitter.
All right, yes, please do.
Yeah, but it was great. The Ren Fair is really cool. It's on this giant farm that's 600 or 700 acres large. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the whole not the whole Ren Fair is not that big, but it's like this. But there's all these permanent structures, they're there year round just for this several month Ren Fair. And there's a pirate ship and all these kind of castle-y type buildings, and they had a fair amount of booze. I was genuinely impressed with the alcohol selection.
Yeah, I thought that's half the point.
Yo, that's absolutely at least for me.
Yeah,
and
maybe 60% of the point.
Yeah, it was great. Then they had good beers, they had these local Texas breweries and stuff like that. They had there was a liquor tent. We did a Scotch tasting. It was a hell of a time.
I love Scotch.
Yeah, it was really cool. And the woman was kind of this sort of carny chick who was giving us the lowdown, gave us a few extra pours.
Hey.
Yeah, and then this other carny guy taught me and my buddy how to throw axes.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
weapons training.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's how you fight culture crime with an axe.
You have to throw an axe at a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was about to say if I said a name right then and there, my inner lawyer called me if you say a name, You might have threatened them. You may get sued. So don't do that. I was about to say
no names.
Yeah, no names. I was no.
But I got
figuratively or something. I don't know. Allegedly, legally.
I did. I shot a longbow. I shot a crossbow, and then we threw some hatchets. I didn't do well at first, but then this other like homeless guy after the scotch, he like taught us how to throw hatchets. Me and my buddy, and it was fun. I was like, this is cool.
So you already got vigilante training. You like a fucking crossbow makes you a superhero in 2 universes, fucking Hawkeye and Green Arrow. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know that crossbows in the Middle Ages were outlawed?
Really?
Yeah. It was such an effective weapon. They outlawed it.
So like gun laws for now. They're like, no.
Yeah.
They lost that war because they're legal now.
Damn right. Goddamn America.
Yeah. Trying to take away guns. You never take away guns. You never take away the guns of the people. As we
Are you a gun owner, Vigilante?
Well, yeah, I am. I'm like, it's not illegal.
What firearms do you own?
I don't actually own that many guns, and I actually need to get more. I only have one right now.
What is it?
I just have a shotgun.
A shotgun, 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Pump action.
Yeah.
Nice.
Even has like a little pistol grip, which probably I heard makes it worse.
Ooh, it's got a pistol grip. That's like that. That's like the shotgun from The Getaway with Alec Baldwin and is it Claudia Schiffer? Is that who that is?
Getaway. That's an older movie, right?
Yeah. There's a great scene with I think it's hold on, The Getaway. Yeah, 1994. Kim Basinger, not Claudia Schiffer, but there's a great scene because Michael Madsen's the bad guy in it, and there's this great scene where he kidnaps this family or this like a husband and wife, and then eventually like kind of starts sleeping with the wife, like fucking her.
Man, yeah.
But the husband's like tied up in the other room. And he cucks her. Yeah, or cucks him. It's pretty brutal, but it was also kind of funny because like she was like into it.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that's the worst part.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, it was bad for the guy, and I think the guy eventually killed himself because he was so dejected that his wife was fucking this criminal. But yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty bleak. But I do remember there was this really cool pistol grip shotgun.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can't find it.
Actually, let me go with Chupacabras. I was a gun owner, but I lost them all in that horrible offshore boating accident. Yeah, the boating accident, middle of Atlantic, terrible loss. Yeah, I was in the same boat. We both lost our guns in the boating accident. Huh. By the way, the chat is trying to Joe Rogan you. They asked, did you try some DMT?
No.
No. Wait down called you Joe Rogan Fowler.
Joe Rogan Fowler.
Yeah.
I guess I'll take it. I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you're in Austin. You're a podcaster. You're a comedian. Practically Joe Rogan.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one of the most influential broadcasters in history. I'll take the comparison.
There you go.
Even if it's a derogatory. Apparently the Getaway. I actually didn't know this, which I'm sort of embarrassed. But the original one was with Steve McQueen.
Oh, I didn't know. So it's a remake.
Yeah, and I've never seen that.
Huh. There you go.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the website IMFDB?
IMFDB? Is that like I am fucking DB or something like that?
No, it's the International Movie Firearms Database.
Oh, Jesus. I've never heard of it, but now I'm on their site now.
It's a great website if you just want to know, like if you're just curious about, like, what was that gun? What gun were they using? And it's a really good resource. For instance, this is the shotgun that they used in The Getaway that I remember vividly seeing when I was a kid because I'd never seen a pistol grip shotgun before.
Oh, so that's cool. That has like the stock still. Like mine doesn't have the stock.
Yours the what's it called? The Storm or something?
No, mine's is just a Mossberg, and I forgot. It's not even like the main. It's not a 500, and it's not they have the one like that's basically a fucking sawed off that I actually want. But I mean, I'll probably break my arm trying to use it. But it's like a fucking I think it's called Shockwave or something. It's like
that's the Shockwave. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that. That's a damn sawed
Oh.
off. That's basically a legal sawed off.
Yeah, isn't that weird? How is that legal?
I'm glad that it is. We need bazookas to be legal, damn it. America.
All right. Save it for yelling at parked cars.
Yeah.
No,
I want my attack helicopter in my tank. Talk about a
my,
sawed off.
My fleet. This is the shockwave.
But yeah, I'm glad they have not gotten to it yet, because that's a fucking.
That's a shock. That's a cool damn gun.
Yes, they have one with a fucking drum. Fuck.
Really?
Or whatever. Like it looks like a magazine.
Oh, this little. Yeah. Oh my god.
That's just brutal.
That's got to be illegal.
I hope it's not.
That can't be legal.
That looks fucking brutal as shit.
15 rounds in a pump action shotgun. I don't know. Look at this.
Oh shit. Listen, if you get in
a drum mag on that thing, that's insane, dude. Take down an aircraft with that.
Exactly. Like, what situation could you possibly get in when you need every single round?
Right.
Like, if you're in that situation, you're fucked.
I mean, yeah, you're fighting a militia.
Yeah, baby. Hey, I want to be prepped for the zombie apocalypse. I gotta prep for it. So I need a short barrel, 12 gauge pump action shotgun with a fucking drum, because America.
I guess that would be the most effective weapon against zombies, right? Because even if you didn't hit him in the head, just if you use like buckshot, like just their soft flesh would be, you know what I mean? You get into a whole group of them. Pow. Yeah, that's true. You wouldn't want something precise like an AR. I mean, you would, I guess, but I think like that would be a deterrent, because it's like you'd really have to aim for their head. But I feel like the force of a shotgun would wipe out zombies. Even if you didn't kill them, you cut them in half.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pat S says, I live in Texas. I can open carry my Navy Colt 45. I don't own a firearm. Well, I own a airsoft pistol that looks like a firearm.
Probably the worst of both worlds.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It doesn't. Not a real gun. It looks like a kind of a sports shooting. It does kind of look like a Colt 45, but it's not. I was thinking about buying a gun. I was thinking about buying a pistol, maybe like one of those cool like Heckler, and I think it's Coke. Although people always say Koch. They say Koch, but I think it's pronounced
Is it
Coke.
actually Coke?
I think so.
Such a dildo gets it. It's tactical nukes.
Tactical nukes for everyone. There's no reason that would go wrong. Yeah, I was thinking about getting like one of those slick German pistols. Yeah. You know, because they're so beautiful, and then just for fun, like a 40. You know what I mean? To like do a little just target shooting and stuff. Feel like a man.
You go.
Keep my home
there
safe.
You go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not that I'm really worried about being unsafe. I live in a gated community.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I know. I'm fancy.
There you go. Fancy. You're like LeBron. See, practically Joe Rogan.
That's right.
Gated community in Austin. Podcast.
Rogan will be like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the end of Predator. He'll just, if someone breaks into his house, he just like covers himself in mud and has like a bow and arrow, you know?
Yeah. I just know spinning back kicks. He can fucking spinning back kick someone's fucking head off.
Did you see the video where his shin kick was more powerful than the Muay Thai champion?
I didn't see that. I've seen him train before, but I didn't see that.
He's such a peaceful guy, right? Until you see him train, and then you see where the rage really exists.
Yeah, man.
It's there. It's in his eyes. He's a fucking animal. That's where he gets it all out.
Yeah. I've been wanting to train. I'm in such terrible shape, but I've been wanting to train.
The weight down says don't get an HK. Jesus H, Matt, you're so white. What's wrong? Get a Glock. Listen, Glocks are not like, they're durable, but they're not like elegant pistols. Like they're very rugged. I don't want a rugged weapon. I want an elegant weapon for a more civilized day.
Yeah, fancy gentleman's weapon.
Yeah.
He wants a gun he can shoot with his pinky extended way down.
Actually, I'd like a PPK. That would be cool.
There you go. Look at you.
That'd be nice. A little 9mm PPK. Bond. That's a beautiful little pistol, eh?
Yeah, but isn't that the James Bond pistol, the Walter PPK? Yeah. See, he wants elegance.
Mm-hmm.
Elegance.
Fancy. I'm fancy.
Fancy snob guns.
So there is a breaking story right now. Thank you to Steph Ann, My Nerdy Home.
Shout out to My Nerdy Home.
Yeah, she is. I guess she retweeted our favorite Nina Infinity.
Yeah.
Let me share this with you. I guess
Yeah.
Ruby Rose is on a fucking rant right now about
Really?
Batman. Yeah, about Batwoman or whatever. Do you want to hear this?
Yeah.
This is crazy. So this is it says this is something she put on her. I guess a few hours ago she put it on her Twitter or Instagram. I mean, imagine taking a huge pay cut to play a passion project and being so excited about Comic-Con and then being told they would not adjust the schedule so I could attend. But then saying we won't announce it, you have to, and me putting my foot down and saying, why must I be the face of this? Only to be told if I didn't do this video, they would be silent and people would turn up to find out on the day I wasn't there. I folded. I wanted to do it. I wanted to do what it took, but then being told, cover your scar. We don't want to see that scar on the video. And you wonder why I posted my surgery video. Now, that's just the first one. The next one is bananas. The next one says, something, please to my dear fans, stop asking if I will return to that awful show.
Oof.
I wouldn't return for any amount of money, nor if a gun were to my head, nor did I quit. I do not quit. Yeah.
Wow.
They ruined Kate Kane, and they destroyed Batwoman, not me. I followed orders, and if I wanted to stay, I was going to have to sign my rights away.
Wow.
Any threats, any bullying tactics, or blackmail will not make me stand down. A crew member got third-degree burns all over his whole body, and we were given no therapy after witnessing his skin fall off his face.
Fuck.
But I was the only one who sent him flowers and cards, and they were told we had to do a sex scene without a minute to process. We lost 2 stunt doubles. I got cut in the face so close to my eye in a stunt I could have been blind.
I didn't even hear about that. I heard about her
Me neither.
nearly getting paralyzed, though, in another stunt.
No, was that her or was that because there's a PA who did get paralyzed?
Yeah, there was a PA that did get paralyzed, and she almost got paralyzed. She needed surgery.
Tell you what, learning all this really does make it a lot less funny.
Yeah, man. This is wild.
Wild.
I
was just reading this during the intro.
Like,
what's that?
Like this set, this Batwoman set. We talk all about how, it's a bad show, this, that, and third, but this sounds like a fucking disaster. It's unsafe. Like, lots of people are getting hurt. This is what happens, and I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I can't help but to think, this is the consequence of diversity hiring, that you create a very unsafe set. You want to be so diverse. Listen, if people aren't trained, doesn't matter what background they're coming from, there's going to be some problems. And like, this seems insane. If they're like people getting burnt up, accidents all the damn time, something needs to be done. And I'm surprised it got this far. And then, they just basically replaced her when the contract didn't work out. They're like, all right, we'll just get another diverse hire and try to kill her.
I've thought that on a much smaller level, like why HBO Max is such a shitty service. I'm like, that feels like they may have hired people who weren't qualified. It's like there's no reason why HBO should have like a clunky streaming service. That doesn't make any sense, in this day and age. So it's like, maybe they diversity hired that. Who knows?
It may have. I don't understand how that's. You're right. HBO with Warner's backing makes like the worst streaming service. HBO fucking O, like they basically were what Netflix modeled itself after when it grew. You know what I mean? So like, how could you not?
I don't understand. I don't get that at all. But so she says, a woman was left quadriplegic.
Quadriplegic, Jesus.
That's horrifying, dude. That's just a poor girl. She's quadriplegic for the rest of her life because this fuck awful show. And they tried to blame it on her being on her phone. So much so, CW couldn't even help her to start with because they needed to, quote, investigate. So she had to do a GoFundMe. She's a PA. They work via phones. Her accident occurred because our show refused to shut down when everyone else did because of COVID.
Jesus.
Yeah. Pandemic, and I told her it was bad idea.
Somebody has no heart and wanted us to finish the season throughout the pandemic.
Yeah.
Just trying to read what's up there.
Yeah, now I guess she's talking about all the different shows.
Said, too distracted. No, I guess sorry, I didn't mean to take over, but
No,
said I
it's
was
cool.
too.
I'm just sort of scanning it if there's anything.
Well, I'm
This is
just
just
still trying to read it. Too distracted during COVID, or constantly checking COVID updates, checking on Friends, Riverdale, Flash, Supergirl shut down already. Felt something bad. What happened? Wait, they were filming during. Was she still on the show during Coof? You're
I
telling me
honestly
this?
I don't know
I
the
can't remember the
timeline.
timeline either. Yeah,
I mean, it must be
it
because she's
must
saying
be.
this.
I think you're. Yeah, I think she has to be.
And so she's talking about the just the girl who got hurt, which is just the worst. I mean, that girl's quadriplegic. Like that's like that's just so horrifying. And the girl is like, and she's just a PA. Like it's like that.
Jesus.
That's like just being like a busboy in a restaurant. You know what I mean? It's like the
Yeah.
lowest like position you can have. Oh God, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's really but this is really unprecedented for someone to be this. Just like
Well,
honest and just
I
going after it.
so I remember covering. Now that I'm thinking about this, I think this is one of the first things I covered on the channel like last year. Her leaving, and because I remember doing something about Javicia Leslie talking about she's thicker than a Snicker when they showed her in the bat suit and shit like that. So like, if I can remember correctly, and it says some of it there, she had Ruby Rose had an accident herself, like I said, and so there were a bunch of different individuals. I didn't know there was that many accidents, but I did know somebody got hurt. I didn't know they were, quadriplegic. I thought they were paraplegic. Not that that's much better. Both,
but still, I mean, she might
PA.
be getting the term wrong. She might have said the wrong thing.
Either
it's
way,
a rant. But still, I mean, part of your body is paralyzed because of this god awful show. What an injustice.
That shouldn't even be happening. And something told me something went janky with that show. And a lot of people were killing her at first. Like, why are you killing her if she had this accident? That may have a huge reason to do why she left the show. Apparently that wasn't even the reason. It said something about a contract. She said something about a contract.
Well, yeah, it also sounds like a pile of bullshit. Like it's, you know what I mean? It just sounds like more and more things. Like that guy got 3rd-degree burns on his face.
Right. I didn't hear anything about that.
I didn't know about that. That's the first I'm hearing about it. But it's just like, good God. Like, these people are, Chewbacca kind of makes a sort of a brutal comment about it. But these people are, a lot of them are dickheads. A lot of them do, what's the word? Like, they talk a lot of shit on the internet. But a lot of people are just caught up in it. A lot of people they are just people. I lived out there. I know a lot of them. Like, yeah, like they're jerk-offs. But, like, there is a giant system at play, too. And people get caught up in it. And then, it's like they're kind of just, like, stuck in this big machine.
It's a cog in a machine.
Yeah, and it's, it's okay to feel bad when people get fucked over like this. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I know we want to talk shit about them because of how, like, how much they attack us. But this is, there's a monstrosity behind it that people get kind of trapped under the wheels.
Yeah, and I have a theory about what's going on and what's happening with this whole Batwoman thing. My theory is we know the edict. There must be agenda. There must be agenda. So that they have to create a show that has agenda, but they don't have the biggest budget. And because the show does so poorly, they didn't cancel it like Why the Last Man, which they should. The budget's even smaller. So they are both trying to they're basically trying to satisfy diversity hiring and budgetary requirements, and they're getting a lower value of safety for their set and a value of just basic production. And that's what's causing all these issues, not just
Wait, did
camera.
Something happen with Why the Last Man?
Well, Why the Last Man get canceled? You didn't hear about that? Oh, you didn't hear about that? Yeah, it just got canceled yesterday, I think. Yesterday or the day before.
Because it sucks?
Yeah. It sucks.
It says was abruptly canceled. 6 years after landing at FX for development, the drama based on the beloved... Oh, what a bunch of bullshit. On the beloved comic series was axed before it could even finish its first and possibly only season.
Yeah, actually, I think I covered it either yesterday or the day before.
I don't know. Like, is that shocking to anybody? It's like, who wants to see... Like, it wasn't as preachy and woke as one might think, but it wasn't. It was to a degree, and like the lead character had a fucking lisp.
Yeah, it looked. So I let me bring this up. I actually covered part of it yesterday, and I'm not gonna get into the article. I just want to show you the picture of the actor they used to play him. This is the actor. You can see how he looks, kind of cuck face. And then you look at the actual comic, and this is the guy in the comic, and he looks a little bit more masculine and a little bit more like
he looks kind of like Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, he does kind of like Kevin Bacon. He doesn't look like some badass, but he doesn't look like a bitch either. He looks like this broken guy in a broken world. And it looks more like not soy. That's the only way I can describe it.
Soy, that's funny.
And then you look at this guy, and it's like he doesn't look like. I know it's just one picture. I don't know. I didn't see any of the show, but he doesn't look like the guy. He doesn't look like a hero of any kind.
He's very much like a Brooklyn hipster. And I read some of the comic book to kind of compare and contrast, and they did some weird things. Like he does have a monkey in the comic book, which I was like, okay. But like in the show, he's trying to do this trick while he's hanging up upside down, and he doesn't succeed. And he's this hapless wannabe magician. But in the book, he's a wannabe magician, but he's successful.
Uh-huh.
And they changed it for him to be hapless. And you're like, why? Why couldn't he be a successful magician? Like it hit all these kind of traditional Hollywood tropes of like, whatever the hell they're doing now.
Yeah.
There was like this sort of, man bad subtext. It wasn't overt, but it was definitely there. And I'm not surprised people didn't want to see it. Like, I'm not even slightly perplexed by this.
Yeah. But, I only brought it up because I think Batwoman should have canceled itself like seasons ago. They're in the third season.
Yeah,
which is
good point.
Insane. And at least Why the Last Man had the good sense to cancel stuff. And by the way, hi to everybody in the chat. I see people.
Hello.
I see Jake D. I see Kai MFS.
Jake Diesel. What up, dude?
Jake D's here. So you're the only one that never heard Why the Last Man. You didn't miss much. It was just let me actually read the quote from the showrunner. She'll tell you exactly what it was and exactly why it got canceled. It was Why the Last Man is about gender and how oppressive systems inform identity. We had a gender diverse team of brilliant artists led by women at almost every corner of production. Producers, writers, directors, cinematographers, production design, costume design, stunt coordination. We see how that works. And more. It is just the most collaborative and ultimately very fulfilling, beautiful thing I've ever been a part of, and we don't want it to end. That is Why the Last Man, Jake G.
Gay.
Bigot.
But and it was amazing how they would tiptoe around it because you have to deal with it nowadays because, it's Hollywood and this soy boy runs the show. But it was, that's
a woman. That wasn't a soy boy.
Oh, that was a girl? Oh, okay. I guess that makes more sense.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, that's okay. But they find him. He's eventually found, because he's by himself for like a month. Somehow didn't know what was going on, even though like the whole world around him is falling apart. Somehow he didn't manage to get the news from anyone in his apartment. He lives in New York City. It's not like he lives in a cabin in the fucking woods. He lived in New York City, and there's a giant disaster. That'd be like living in New York City through 9/11 and not knowing like about 9/11. Like, it was just ridiculous.
Living through the Koof. Like, I didn't know. I've been in New York for a month.
Hadn't heard about it.
What?
Yeah, like there was no news reports that all the men were dead. He has to go to the White House to get this news. Where you're like, what? That's so goddamn stupid. And then like he asked his mom like, so there's no other men left, and she's like, oh, we found men, just none with a Y chromosome. Okay. You think maybe in the cataclysmic disaster, gender identity wouldn't be a priority, but apparently it still was. And there was some other girl who had friends or whatever, and one of them was so dejected because all this person's friends ran off with all the testosterone.
You want to know something? Of course, if there were only women left, of course they'd be concerned about gender identity. They'd be concerned about their hair, their nails, all this other dumb shit.
But it's like, lady. But it's the end of the world. cataclysm on a biblical scale, and they're like, you took my testosterone. What am I gonna do? I guess you'll just be a girl. It's not that big of a fucking deal, compared to running water or electricity or having enough food to eat tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, they took the testosterone. What is this fantasy land? Oh, they can't stop stepping on their dicks.
Yeah, how are they going to get the plumbing system working with women?
Well, no, but I need my gender identity expression to be well realized in this post-apocalyptic nightmare. Oh, my God. No wonder no one's watching this show. Who watches this shit?
No one, and it got canceled.
Yep.
No one at all. Jake D didn't even know it existed.
Jake Diesel.
Jake Diesel. Islington girl. Hell, Islington girl. It's been a long time. Can confirm being a girl is survivable.
Yes, it actually is possible.
Yeah.
I know it's this huge disadvantage, oh golly gosh. And the white patriarchy.
So all the oppression, you can still survive. How?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Queen Slay.
Jesus, Pope Chewbacca is fucking on one today. He woke up angry.
Food to eat without testosterone. I mean, goddamn, oh Lord. Oh boy.
I wanted to share another, and this was, I couldn't believe this. So,
go ahead.
I play this little mobile game called Two Dots. I don't know if you've ever played that before, but it's just a fun little. You make little squares and they zap all the same color, and you gotta hit these little goals on each level.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun little game. However, in the later levels, it gets kind of tedious, and you're just like, oh, right. And eventually, the whole conceit, the point is you you have to basically what they're trying to do is goad you into buying their little upgrades and little like every other mobile game that they let you have fun. Yeah, it's a pay to win, like all of them. And so I was like, I don't like this. I need to download a new game. So I downloaded the Oregon Trail.
Oh, classic Oregon Trail.
We remember the Oregon Trail, right?
Yeah.
Super fun. And I didn't even start the game. I didn't get 10 seconds into the game, and then they hit me with wokeness.
Yes.
In the Oregon Trail.
It is the Oregon Trail, so I mean Portland.
Yeah, that's a good point. Look at this intro that the game gives you. This is before the game starts. This is how it begins.
Awesome.
In creating this new game in the beloved Oregon Trail series, we were determined to better depict Native American perspectives. For indigenous peoples, westward expansion was not an adventure, but an invasion. Recognizing this complex history, we have collaborated with Native American scholars to bring a new level of respectful representation to the game. The fucking Oregon Trail.
Well, you know what? Stop being a bigot, Matt. You know what they should do? They should make it so you're the Native Americans and you get to kill Whitey. That's what they should do.
That's what they should do. I agree.
That's what they should do.
I'm just like,
you bigot. No, this is a bit much.
It's like I'm not even arguing against that necessarily.
Yeah.
It's like, but the phrasing.
I just want to play the game.
It was not an adventure, but an invasion. So the Oregon Trail now, the point is to vilify the colonists. It's like, really?
Fucking colonizer.
In the Oregon Trail, that was the game y'all played in grammar school, and you shot bison and you tried to not get dysentery, and they're like, you gotta learn about your privilege.
You need to check your privilege. Check your privilege.
It was an invasion. Like, all right, melodrama, fucking gender studies, asshole. Shut up.
Historically, it was rough, but rough. That's an understatement. Historically, it's fucked up.
Yeah, it's bad. It was very bad. I'm not saying it wasn't.
But I can't. You know what?
Just, do we need social lessons in all of our entertainment? Do we?
Yes, those are the rules from on high, and that is what's getting played out. That's my thought. It's the fucking Oregon Trail. You should be lucky I'm nostalgic enough to give a fuck about your game.
And I couldn't even honestly, I couldn't bring myself to play it after that. I was like, I don't
Because
need
you're just like,
this. I don't
you
need a
know, I think
lesson.
90% of people probably just click like with most games that ever exist, you just skip through the intro.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes you
Oh
want to
yeah.
see the intro, but you just kind of skip through to start playing, and it's probably not going to phase them. And I'm sure, like with the Oregon Trail's like gaming content, like how woke can you make it? Like when you actually are playing a game, I'm sure it's not like that bad, but it is just like, all right, man.
I have no idea. Like I didn't play it. I couldn't get past the beginning. I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Just more of the same you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
right. Everything's a lecture. Everything is, reframing the past. And it's like there's a lot of misnomers about Native Americans. I'm not saying they didn't get fucked by the evil colonizers, right, Sentient Dildo, but
Yeah.
the idea that they were just living here peacefully is complete bullshit. Like there were
Yes.
wars all the time. There was, it's just like every other populace of people. It's just it's a constant ebb and flow of peace and war and murder and genocide. Like it's been the history of the planet everywhere you go. I'm not saying it's good, but still, it's like there's this narrative that these evil Europeans were just, destroying the heartily made peace amongst all these poor indigenous folk. And it's like, yeah, no, that's not what happened. Like they were just playing their part in the way the world was back then. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it was universal.
And honestly, I've always been of the opinion this stuff is kind of slightly like white supremacy in and of itself, even if it's in a negative, because it makes like white people seem as if they are like the gods of the earth that conquered all and brought civilization to the world.
Yeah, and it's like we have a responsibility because we're superior.
Yeah,
is like the
white man's guilt.
subtext. Yeah, it is that.
That's
like
right.
that's the subtext, and it's complete bullshit, patronizing. It's essentially genuine racism.
Yeah, and that's not why. Again, this is the fucking Oregon Trail, man. This is just. This is not
it's a kid's game.
It's a kid's game. It's for people, a generation like us that remember playing it as kids. Maybe if we had kids or nieces or whatever to show to our younger generation, the kids or whatever, and to play and to have fun and to, like you said, shoot bison and go through the little RPG-esque elements of it and just have fun. It's not for
fun. For fun. But there is no more fun. Fun is a tool of the patriarchy, I guess. Like everything is re-education. Everything is reframe. It's that's what this is now. Like that's what we are like educated on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did want to take this moment, y'all, to please press like on the video if you have not yet. Subscribe to Vigilante Williamson. Share the vidya. And if listening on YouTube is too inconvenient, we made it quite convenient by putting this as a podcast on every single podcast platform. iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
But go give yourself a little subski. And if you can, it is on iTunes, so if you want to give it a 5-star rating so people watch it, knock yourself out. We'd really appreciate it.
Yes, please do. Please do all the iTunes stuff. I have to put my other stuff on iTunes now. Everybody has stuff on iTunes. And
I know, I got to try.
Essentially,
doesn't want me to tell him what to do.
Oh,
I like your rebellious spirit.
What to do? Messed it up.
But I will tell you what to do, buddy. All right? Get used to it, pal.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, man. They just put it. It's everything. You're not allowed. Man, I feel like I'm always going conspiracy theory. And by the way, I saw. Speaking of conspiracy theory, the sports thing. I saw a video of a guy who played in the NFL, who actually played in the Super Bowl for the Bucks, say that it was all rigged.
Who?
It's actually good. What's his name? Oh God, what was his name?
He played in the Bucks Raiders Super Bowl.
Yep, Bucks Raiders Super Bowl. I think he might have even been MVP. He had like 2 picks.
Holy shit, Rondé Barber?
No, Rondé Barber wasn't the MVP, even though he had like 2 picks. Yeah, there was a lot of picks in that Super Bowl.
That was a defensive destruction. But
what he was talking about, it's a. You know what? Maybe I should pull up the clip.
Yeah, please do.
Let me pull up the clip. It's pretty great. So he's called, what it is it's from this year. and it's a
Pope Chewbacca, fucking beast.
What did
He
he say?
says, feminism did this damage, and men are to blame. It's our fault for letting them vote.
Jeez. I see that repeal the 19th as like a troll comment, but I think it's starting to become serious.
You can't pay taxes and not vote. That's not fair. I don't care. I mean, I don't think that's what it is, because there's based women out there. I don't know. I mean, God, it's a whole bunch of things. Let's just talk about football.
Repeal the 19th.
Shut up.
Repeal the 19th. God, I got
even the Islington girls like, it's not a bad point.
Oh no, damn women! I just lost another fucking sub. Jeez.
I'm not advocating for that type of blatant sexism. I shan't and I won't. It's terrible. It's terrible and hurtful.
I'm sorry.
No, I do not think women shouldn't vote. I look. There's as many dumb men out there. There's lots of soy boys and fucking, Antifa dickwads. It's not gender.
Very true. There's more than enough. There's more than enough soy men fucking it up. If there weren't soy boys, this wouldn't be an issue either. If all.
Yeah, exactly. If these men would keep their goddamn women in line.
Yeah. Okay. So the guy's name is Dwight Smith. So he wasn't. I thought he was I think he did have some picks though in the Super Bowl.
Who that guy is. He did. He had picks in the Super Bowl.
I believe he did because there was a lot of picks to be had. So
there were a whole bunch. Rich Gannon set a record for interceptions
it was
in
like
a Super
5
Bowl.
or 6. It was insane.
It was quite a few.
I never saw a game like that, and he himself thinks it was rigged. So let me get it shared. And it's a long clip. We don't have to play all of it, but hopefully we can play enough of it. It's a local.
He's from Detroit.
Is he from Detroit?
He's from Detroit.
Awesome. Detroit keeping it real.
He
all right.
Played for 8 seasons. He was a safety.
Yeah. So here's he's talking. I can't tell you what radio station he's talking to. Please don't sue us, random radio station. This is a great content. So hopefully this is it.
7.
Yep.
Champion Dwight Smith, who was a part of that team, 2 pick
You can hear
sixes. We all know what he did against the Raiders, but he joins us here in the Ronnie and T-Crash show as we count down to
Ooh, he returned
Bowl
both for
Sunday.
touchdowns.
Ronnie and Tom
Damn.
here. How are you? Welcome to the show. All right.
Wait, hold on. Pause that for 1 second.
There it is.
Yeah.
He returned both of his picks for touchdowns. He was the first player ever to score 2 touchdowns on an interception returns in a Super Bowl history.
Wow.
That's wild. Okay.
Yeah, and real quick, Islington girl says, "Can I get married so I don't have to pay taxes? I'll never vote again." There you go.
Is that right? Well, we got a great matchup coming up with Super Bowl 55. Obviously, the Buccaneers are playing on their home field. They're not the home. Just tell me, as a former Buccaneer, how surreal is this for the Bucs to be in the Super Bowl in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium?
That's a good question, man. I would like to ask some Tampa fans that question because I really don't know.
Well, I mean, this is something that no one's ever seen before. I mean, you're hosting the Super Bowl. The Bucs are in it. It's Brady versus Mahomes. I mean,
that was something I predicted at the beginning of the year. I said if the NFL wanted to have the home team in the Super Bowl, this would be the perfect year. Pandemic, people can't travel, so it's not a shock to me.
Shit.
How big of an advantage do you think it will be?
Yeah, we should probably.
I didn't even think about that, and it's in the one state where it was okay to have people at the game. What a coincidence! Also, Brady, the darling of the NFL, he made his way back. Man, I don't want to believe it.
Man, it gets worse. He talks about his Super Bowl too. And he gets his thoughts on that.
Look at Pat S. I love him. He's producing the show. He's like advertising on the show with the Culture Crime Fighters. You get it all: sports, history, game reviews, and sports.
Yeah, we've become the sports crime fighters the past couple of weeks. And then we haven't even talked about Kyrie Irving in the coup for anything in the past couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about that. Yeah.
Been a big story. But let's go on a little bit. I don't want to play the whole thing. I just want to get to where he gets into something juicy and get their reaction because it's kind of great.
Be for the Buccaneers not having to travel anywhere because obviously, when you were in the Super Bowl,
that's not no advantage. I don't have no advantage.
No advantage? Okay.
No.
All right, so
that's like saying they have advantage at every home game during the year. So I mean, it ain't like they won every home game, so it ain't much of an advantage.
What show is this, by the way?
Yeah, y'all know all the X's and O's.
It
I
doesn't
can't
say it
tell
in the
you.
clip.
Let me see.
Like in the description.
Let's see. No, it's just a guy promoting his beats in his Instagram. So thank you. Thank you, Lobo.
Give credit, asshole.
Yeah, I'd love to know which radio station.
I mean,
this
come
is.
on. It's not your words.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then I'm sorry, the marriage and the base thing. That's how you tell marriage is a scam, though. Oh boy.
God damn. Isn't the girls on your side?
If I can't get married, I have to pay BS taxes. Got to put up my vote. Well, damn. I guess.
Listen, no taxation without representation. That's what the whole damn republic was founded on. I mean, if they're paying taxes, they have to vote. They get to vote. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Foulball predictions. Hi, V-Star. Hello.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm fucking Nostradamus of YouTube.
All right, let's listen to more. Hopefully, I think this is where it starts to get good.
Man, I'm just sitting at home watching. I don't like to get into that because I don't believe the game is really decided on the field. So, I don't get into all the X's and O's and talking, man. Like I said, I played in the game. I set a Super Bowl record, and we knew every play they was running before the game started. So,
wow.
Who am I to say?
Well, dude, we got to get this guy on the show.
Yes, I would love to.
What? We knew every game they were going to play before the game started?
Yeah, every play. He said he knew every play. And then
so that's why he's like, yeah, what does he mean by that? I want him to be specific.
Well,
that could just be like jock talk for we had them, figured out. But I don't think so.
Nah, he means it literally. Let's play some more.
Tell us about that week leading up to the Super Bowl, because
right. Oh, let's pretend sports are real.
Raiders coach at the time, obviously John Gruden had just come over. Tell us about that week of preparation leading up to the game and how it was executed.
Our friend John Gruden.
Yeah. Based ass John Gruden.
Yeah.
Clueless anti-football pussy. That's a great quote.
I agree with.
I mean, come on.
That is. Especially because he kind of is. Some of the stuff he said.
Yeah. And that's just well put. You just gotta like a guy who can, articulate that.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the good stuff.
Executed by you guys. I mean, you could know which plays are coming, and
Tim Brown and Jerry Rice come out and say that they made them run John Gruden's offense.
Yes. Yep. It was his offense, and you guys knew
Listen
exactly
to what he
was
said.
You know every single play.
They didn't run that offense all year though. Ain't it odd that you would run it when you're playing against us?
So did you guys?
You hear what he said? He said they didn't run John Gruden's offense all year, and then they start running it playing against John Gruden. Isn't that odd?
Wow.
And I'm like, what?
I mean, I watched that Super Bowl. I remember watching that Super Bowl. It was a rout.
It was a route, and they did know the plays. That was obvious that they knew the plays. I thought, he used to be the coach, so I accepted it. I didn't realize that they knew the actual fucking plays because they were tipped off, because that's just how it works.
I mean, it was it was 48-21. I didn't even know the Raiders scored 21 points. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it scored a couple late touchdowns.
48 points in a Super Bowl. I mean, that's a lot.
That is a lot, especially back then before they had a lot of, can't touch the quarterback, can't touch the receivers. And most of it, like you said, he scored two touchdowns on defense.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of that going on. I mean, that defense was insane. You had Warren Sapp, Rondé Barber, that backfield. My buddy used to always pick Tampa around that time in Madden, and he was unstoppable. It was so frustrating.
Yeah, they had a good team.
They really did, but yeah, wow. So what is this? I want to hear more what this guy's saying.
Okay.
You guys know every play before the ball was snapped?
I'm just saying, man, the game ain't decided on the field. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, I predict who's going to be in the Super Bowl. It ain't about who has the best players.
Sorry.
Football is entertaining.
Still got my
what's the most entertaining Super Bowl? The Bucs in their first one against Patrick Mahomes has nothing to do with if these are the best teams, because we know that these aren't the best teams. The Bucs are not the best NFC team.
Wow.
So who's the best team in the NFC, in your opinion?
The Green Bay Packers.
But the
Okay.
Bucks beat them at Lambeau, though. I mean, the Bucks proved it. They went there. They beat Aaron Rodgers at his place.
You can say what you want, man. Like I say, the game ain't decided on the
But the Bucks beat
Damn.
Green Bay 38-10 at Raymond James
You're
Stadium
not
in the
listening.
regular
You're
season.
not listening to me, man. You keep
Yeah.
saying
So how is it decided then if it's not on the field?
The Giants won the Super Bowl in 2007. I had two pick sixes. One I took back 93 yards, another pick up there in New York. We beat them 40-something. We didn't have Adrian Peterson. They went on to win a Super Bowl. Like, you go look at who beat what and how? Like, come on, man. Stop that.
All right, so how do you see this?
So yeah, he's hardcore.
He's
this is the guy who played
based.
in the league. Hardcore into this is rigged. So I'm
Well,
not
we've been
alone.
saying that. I mean, it's suspicious, right? It's like people brought up on the video that I put out about the John Gruden thing, and they said something about like after there's like some sort of disaster or whatever. It was after Katrina,
Yep,
the
that's right on
New
it.
Orleans. Yes, there you go. I live in New Orleans. After anyone else find it odd, the Saints finally win a Super Bowl right after Katrina, when the world was helping out the city against Manning. We finally win as an underdog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, and I guess it happened in Boston after the bombing. A lot of that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah. I mean, the Yankees lost after 9/11, though, didn't they? Did they lose to the? It was the
They
Diamondbacks
did
that
lose.
year.
I think they did
That was-
lose. Yeah,
So that's and they were in the World Series and they were buying
Yeah.
them. They were killing it that year.
it's a different league though. I mean, who knows? It's different. But the thing is, you don't have to rig Major League Baseball. It's already rigged. You know what I mean? Like one team's budget is $70 million, another's is $270
Yeah.
million. Like
not,
you don't.
not having a cap is wild.
Yeah, you don't need to rig it. It's already rigged. Like it's
You
you
could
know.
literally pay $20 million for an entire team, and then another team's playing that to like one of their
Yeah.
mediocre players.
I mean, for years, Tampa was literally just a farm system for the Yankees.
Yeah, they were. I remember that.
They would just draft these incredible players, and then as soon as it was time for them to get a big contract, the Yankees would scoop them up.
Man.
You don't need to rig a game like that. The NFL technically has a salary cap, so you can't. You know what I mean? You can't just fade. But I was saying last week, it's like, dude, what are the Lions? They're 0-4, 0-5 already.
Yeah, probably.
Like, how are they always the worst team in the league? You have the same salary as every other goddamn franchise. You can't
How
put
could
it
that
together.
possibly happen?
How is that possible? Every once in a while, you got to get lucky. But they're always the worst team in the league. The Jets
Yeah.
are always terrible. And like I said, we get rid of Sam Darnold. He goes to the Carolinas.
Carolina.
He's good suddenly, but he sucked with us. It's like, nah, I don't think that's all coincidence. Like, how could you routinely make bad decisions like that? Eventually, someone who knows football could get in that front office. Like, it doesn't make sense. You have this like. It's not even about competition, right? Like, you don't need to. It's not like the salaries are competitive in one city
Yeah.
versus another.
Yeah.
Like, Pittsburgh Pirates always sucking makes sense. It's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who cares? You can't spend that much money on them. It's New York City, the Yankees. I get that makes sense. But this doesn't make sense in the NFL. There's absolutely no explanation other than, like, the owners want their team to lose. Like, it's the only explanation. Like, how can you...
They payoffs lose. I mean, if you talk about major payoffs, and they have I know NFL also has a little socialism as far as the funding. So it's collective,
Right.
like
Collective
everybody
bargaining,
gets everybody gets a piece of the pot. So even
Yeah.
if you're the worst team, you still get a stipend. You know what I mean? And so everybody gets a piece of the pot. So there's nothing that, there's no reason you couldn't rig it.
No, none.
And you
It
don't
makes
need
perfect
everyone to be
sense.
involved. I mean, we
Plus-
remember that year the refs were all celebrating with the Patriots.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh man, it was after a play and the refs were smiling or something. I couldn't. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was kind of a famous. It was like a meme. It went everywhere. It went viral when that happened.
Can you find that? Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I'll find it.
But like, I mean, look, all the owners collude, and I don't mean that as a conspiracy. Like there's an owners like guild or group. Like they're all
Yeah.
in it together. And it's like this isn't far fetched. It's not even a stretch. Like they all, like you said, there's a collective bargaining. They're not really competing against each other. So it's like this guy's saying, what's the most entertaining thing to happen? It's all decided off the field. It's like, I'm not kind of even surprised by that, especially when you're talking about the amount of money that shifts hands during the NFL season is tremendous. It's billions of dollars, literally billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, that people wouldn't get together and try to control that flow of money. It's just naive to assume that that's not how it's going.
Yeah, and think about this. Think about the fact that gambling is now a lot more legal in a lot more places, and like online gambling is like a huge thing now. And Pat
Good
S
point.
says like WWE, Elway was the quintessential babyface, got old, becomes a manager. Yeah, sort of like that. He's not. He had the storybook career. He couldn't win the championship. His first, when he was younger. He gets older. He has this grizzled veteran. Has a second life. His last couple years goes out on top. 2 championships. He's this iconic guy. You know what I mean? Everything, it just seems almost too they always, you couldn't script it. Or maybe you could. And here's the Patriots thing. It's Patriots Jaguars a few years ago in the playoffs.
Okay.
And the refs openly celebrate. So let me unmute it because I just want to make sure. Okay. Yeah, here it is. Look at this guy. Look at that.
I don't know if that's celebration. That's a bit of a stretch. I don't think that's celebrating.
Come on, man.
That could have been a joke that they were laughing about together.
In the middle of the playoffs? Fuck that.
Play it back. Play it back.
Okay, I'll play it back. It looks all these clips.
And he goes to tell him something.
He smiles.
He goes like, I know. He's just stop. Like that could be anything.
Oh boy, here we go.
That's not cold evidence. I'm not gonna just take that as it could be interpreted. Once again, it's like when he's completely out of context. It's 2 seconds of a clip, and he's just like, yeah, no, I know. That's the whole thing. That means he's celebrating. He's not celebrating. It's not like he's jumping up and down with his hands in the sky. He's just saying, no. It could have been a joke. He could have just said something funny. He's like, yeah, I know. We got to get back to the game. Like, that's all. That could have been anything.
All right, man.
You sound disappointed.
It's not disappointment. It's just like that. It's. I mean, listen. You can have your beliefs. They can be wrong. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like I.
There's nothing there.
All right, that's your take on it. I feel
you then convince me.
So, like, under what context? That's late in the half in a key playoff game. Oh, it's the AFC Championship game. In the AFC Championship game, under what context does a ref smile and shake a player's hand or shake?
He did shake his hand
or whatever. What was it? He has hands on. Let me. Actually
he just had his hands up.
Go to the still. I don't want to. Not trying to lie. Had his hands up, smiled, and he shook his head in agreement with the player on something.
So what? It could have been about anything.
I don't know, man.
I mean, look, I'm not. I just sat here for 15 minutes and made an argument that the NFL's rigged. Obviously, true. I'm on board with the concept, but this doesn't prove anything.
It doesn't prove anything, I guess, because it's not like but it's just it's odd. I've never seen it before in any other context ever. How about that?
I mean, who cares? So, whatever.
All right.
I don't know. I think that sounds like someone like that. That reminds me of like early on in YouTube when like all the reptile stuff was out there and people would find like a clip of like a. People. Yeah, I do too. But people would find like a clip of like a
motherfuckers.
Yeah, and they'd find like a clip of like a newscaster blinking kind of weird. And they'd be like, "See, proof." It's like that's not proof. It's a glitch. It's digital broadcasting. Like that could be anything. I'm not saying it isn't that, but that's not. You didn't find the evidence. It's just a clip of someone blinking. You know, and you're just like, all right, yeah. Like, oh, he clipped their eyes went lizard for a second. No, they didn't. It didn't happen.
All right, man. And yes, we're still talking about gay rugby cinch and dildo. You guys are still talking about.
Did you leave? Did he leave? Like, oh, when these guys are done with football, I'll come back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess we kind of are. And yeah.
I don't care. We had fun.
But yeah, Detroit. And of course, like we were just saying earlier, hell, Newbound Turkey, hell, everybody. I see a lot of weird conversations going on. in the
I
chat.
know. Wookie and Incident Girl are going back and forth. She's
Yeah.
talking about sandwiches and stuff.
Talking about sandwiches, all this other stuff. But yeah, man, I think there's something up with sports.
I
definitely
agree.
think there's something up with sports.
Firmly
I'm not
agree.
sure
That's
if
just
it's,
that didn't sway me.
Yeah, Matt's a lizard person confirmed. Obvious.
Don't tell
Oh,
David
listen.
Icke.
Oh no.
He'll kill me.
Yeah,
I remember when all that. I can't believe I got rid of all that stuff on YouTube. That was great content.
that was fun.
It was really
That was fun. That's what happens. Everything goes corporate. Everything goes corporate, and it goes wrong. Even before wokeness was the reason it went wrong. The real reason is that when things go corporate, things become beholden to whatever trend the idiots that run things want to follow.
I'll tell you what. I've been kind of arguing that a lot of this stuff has been around longer than we think. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh man, the
Sorry,
CIA made that cough.
just had to clear my throat. I just get it. I was coughing up a bird that I ate because I'm a lizard.
There you go.
But I no, I was listening to an old Opie and Anthony clip, and it's like, we talk about all this stuff at 2016 and all this stuff, but it has. I felt like it's been around a lot longer than I think the narrative is sort of comfortable admitting. But I was listening to this old clip, and it was from 2008, and Colin Quinn. This was before Obama got elected the first time.
Yeah.
And that was 08, right? Yeah. Colin Quinn was using the term leftist, which I thought I hadn't heard until like Ben Shapiro coined it, you know what I mean, or whatever. And also was saying how in the media, how in movies, the person who could be bad was a white man. And I was like, damn. Colin Quinn was onto that in 2008.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there are definitely signs of this existing before we noticed it. I mean, you got to think about this. A lot of normies still don't notice it. They still don't.
That's true. And I was thinking, I mean, the how amazing that is, that we're still convincing people the sky is falling, and they're looking at us like Chicken Little.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. What was I thinking about? The fucking gay Superman. That, like, normies got taken, like, what? They made Superman gay? And we're like, yeah, they make everyone gay.
And they're like, oh, there must be no one wants to believe it.
Yeah.
But that's actually interesting you bring that up, because there's a story on Bounding into Comics that is worth talking about.
Which one am I on that now?
I just shared it with you.
Oh, there you go.
It says the title, the headline is Superman, son of Kal-El colorist Gabe Eltaeb, to exit DC Comics over Superman motto change. He says, I'm tired of them ruining these characters.
Wow. Oh, did you hear about the motto change? I covered that.
Oh, yeah.
Also. Yep.
Absolutely.
Not for the American way anymore.
After learning
problematic.
After learning of DC Comics' recent decision to drop the American way from Superman's classic motto, Superman's son of Kal-El colorist Gabe Eltaeb announced he will not seek to renew his contract with the publisher in protest of, quote, them ruining these characters. Truth, justice, and a better tomorrow.
Build back better.
These motherfuckers. After appearing on an October 13th YouTube live stream hosted by Cyberfrog creator Ethan Van Sciverbeast, himself a former contracted DC employee, Eltaeb revealed to the audience, I'm finishing out my contract with DC. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of them ruining these characters. They don't have a right to do this.
Wow.
Beast.
Wow. And it's funny, conversely, DC is because he just did a show with EVS. Had he not finished it out, they would have fired him basically for doing a show with EVS, because they just put out like a thing. Anyone who hangs with any comics gators.
He's the comic book antichrist to these people.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Because he doesn't care. He also doesn't really get mad about it. He's just completely nope, and is very successful as an independent comic creator.
Yeah, he is. He's the kind of the hope for independent media, for at least me. At least the prototype for how independent media can become a thing.
Yeah. He's raised millions of dollars for Cyberfrog, just independent funding. It's like, yeah.
He has a warehouse and shit now. His whole fucking company, basically. I mean, it's a whole thing, whole project. So that's
and that
kind of
asshole.
incredible.
What's that guy's name? Who attacked that comic book artist for doing a cover for him?
Oh, was it Tom King?
Tom King. That's right. Yeah. And
Piece
he,
of shit.
tried to cancel this guy, tried to ruin his life because he called him a racist. Just
Yeah, he's an
simply-
Asian dude. Called him racist. Asian white supremacy. We know how bad it is.
exactly. Simply because he just did a cover for someone, and he overplayed his hand on that one. Thought he'd still get away with it. And that guy, he's gross. But that's the whole thing. It's like, how dare you contradict the narrative? How dare you challenge our supremacy?
Yeah,
Don't do it.
Yeah. And that's kind of, they're actually, like I said, they're formally adopting that attitude now. At least that's the rumor that there's been internal saying like, hey, if you do anything with that, like, so if that happens again, it's not going to be Tom King coming at you. They're just going to let you go. Or it's not, or quietly just not use you, whatever the case may be.
Which, if you want to have a career in comics, you probably should do.
Yeah.
You probably should break the narrative, because that industry is a sinking ship.
It is not. Yeah, the big two companies are not the way to work for. Literally, a few months ago, every major comic book, or not every major, but like the three biggest comic books are like Batman, Spider-Man, X-Men, and all their writers left. They left to go make more money on their own.
And I was talking about this with a buddy of mine in Houston, because he's a nice guy, but he's kind of I don't want to say he's woke, but he's kind of like he's like a Jon Stewart liberal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's still living in 2010.
I see.
You know what I mean? Like he means well, but he's just uninformed. But he's saying we're talking about how Superman's gay, and he's just like, oh well, they got to make money somehow. And me and the other guy, his friend, we're just like, dude, these comics don't make money.
Yeah,
they lose money. Like, they do all this stuff at the consequence of their own industry.
Yeah, basically, they destroyed their own industry. And I myself am pretty pissed about not just the Superman gay thing. I was like, okay, they made him get up, no shit. But the American way thing, even as a guy who's not, a patriot, don't have a flag, I'm still like, come on, bro. That's Superman.
It really bugged me just this second reading that. Truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. Oh, it's jarring. Also, it sounds communist.
Yes, it does.
And this looks like a kind of a communist propaganda poster.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
It's like this feels like this is what Superman is trying to fight against.
And a better tomorrow. You know what I mean? Implying that there's all these issues with today.
Yeah, they've made Red Sun Superman the actual Superman. That's if anyone knows, comic book fans in the chat know the Red Sun storyline is like an alternate storyline where instead of him being born in America, Superman is born in communist Russia, and he's becomes the Russian whatever dictator man. But he's still trying to prove communism works. The movie was kind of cool. I didn't read the comic though.
It's unbelievable people are still arguing that. Like just reading, like I said, I think I'm 8 hours into Thomas Sowell's Basic Economics, and it's already he made so many arguments against communism that you're just it's not even, they're very simple. It's like, if you just understand the nature of the market and the fact that you can only specialize in so many things, and the audacity for a government to try to control all of those, it's doomed to fail. It always fails. There's no examples of it working. And it's yet people are still out there being like, it's the only way to think. Let's put it in media. Oh.
Well, they don't, I mean, a lot of them don't really understand they don't understand basic economics. Yes. Pun intended. They don't, and there's an emotional argument. They get they think that the government will do the right thing.
Right.
And
if the right people are there.
If the right people are there. They don't understand that they are incapable of doing it fundamentally. That they don't comprehend that. Even if you give them examples of things that were purported to, this was going to be the right thing for people. the little bit of socialism, or not a lot of bit of socialism that already existed in this country, and all the failures. We've talked about welfare. We've talked about the housing thing where they put we want to create cheap housing, and then you end up creating more expensive housing than ever before because you limit the amount of basically people don't want to build houses because they can't sell them for a profit because of how high the cost of living goes, and you fuck things up the more you try to interfere with them. That's like a common trend with government.
And what they don't understand is the fact that like human nature is not something you can govern. Like,
yes,
you can't force people to do the right thing. Like, I was reading that exact chapter in the book, and he was saying about what happens when you have all these rent-controlled apartments is that people end up with multiple rent-controlled apartments because they can afford it. Whereas in a competitive market, you couldn't do that, so the housing options would be more plentiful. But like Soul was pointing out that like when you have rent control, homelessness follows it.
Yeah,
and it's like it's the government interfering with what should be a natural system, and the more they try to interfere with it, the more they fuck it up.
Yeah, and wait down. This is really the point. Here's a cold truth. Humans are fundamentally flawed. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. We have never had a perfect, equitable system, but America got closer than any before. That is really the point.
Yeah.
Perfection is impossible. Once you accept that, it becomes a lot easier to get rid of communism emotionally, because I think the issue is these people have been told by every institution, by the educational institutions for their entire life, that you have to do the right thing, and to do the right thing is to give. And that's why they say things, if I can have better roads, I'll tax the rich more, not realizing that if you took all the money of the rich, and Ripper has pointed this out, the government wouldn't last 6 months. We're not using tax dollars, we're using future dollars. We're not even, you know what I mean?
Right.
Our spending is so off the page that doesn't even work. You know what I mean? But the average person doesn't even understand that. So I
was thinking about Bezos in particular, and it's like people don't like that he doesn't pay taxes. And like as a principle, I don't like that. But then I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, how much tax revenue has this guy generated from just the sales at Amazon?
Oof.
It's got to be literally billions of dollars, right? So it's like maybe he's not paying taxes, but how much tax revenue has he generated? So much.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, I mean, he's obviously contributing to the overall pool of government money. It's not like he's just, you know what I mean? He didn't come into my pocket and steal it. I voluntarily gave it to Amazon because it's a good service. Then the government took their percentage. It's like, it's still working. I mean, is that a fair argument, or am I just being naive?
I personally think it's a fair argument. I may be biased. Me and Jake D are in the taxation and stuff.
Yeah.
He's talking about
look at Jake. Matt is getting so based. I love it.
So based, I love it. Because my thought is this, especially when it comes to taxes, it's like what you just said happens a lot. When you cut taxes, there's a higher you get higher tax revenue because one, the rich people they're more likely to pay their taxes if they're smaller, and there's more, like you said, people spend more money. There's more tax dollars from commerce. More tax dollars get created through commerce and through business. So, like, I do think there's a direct correlation. And I listen. I would love relief for my taxes. The greatest amount of relief you can give me, please do. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, it's like if it worked, I'd be fine with it. But it doesn't work. Like this is something Thomas Sowell said, but this is something I came across before that. It was that like, when the government tries to fund homeless housing, it ends up costing more than the average cost of living for just a person who works, because of how inefficient they are and like how poor they are with with designating that money. So it's like it's not helping. It's not. Stop fucking with the thing, and that'll help. Just don't get involved.
JD said I'm being naive with sales tax. I was a Herman Cain. What was it, 999 or something like that? I'd have been happy as hell with that.
I'm not saying I'm not, but there's a difference between
tax law. But
I'm just saying there's a difference between me admitting that taxation is theft and me saying that like Bezos generates tax revenue. Like if your argument is that this guy doesn't, contribute to the tax base, my counterpoint to that is be like, well, he's generated literally billions of tax dollars, so that's not true.
Yeah. And that tends to be the case of business. That was the whole kind of theory behind, wasn't it Reaganomics?
I don't know. Trickle down economics.
Trickle down economics. But the idea is that, well, listen, I want less taxes across the board for everyone. But like there is a tendency for the less a business is taxed, the more tax revenue they're able to generate by selling more goods, by hiring more people, and then they are able to buy stuff and contribute to the tax out. So yeah, it does work out that way as far as Amazon, and that's why Amazon's gotten a lot of tax breaks in states to bring an Amazon facility and bring all those jobs and bring all whatever tax dollars they do get in. You know what I mean? So it does work.
I'm also not like
pro
wild,
Amazon,
but
pro
I'm
Bezos. No, I'm just joking.
But I'm not like wildly free market either, in the sense that like we have lots of examples in history of corporations who will do things like dump chemicals into lakes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like back in the 1800s, like Carnegie, like if you lost your arm in one of his factories, you didn't get compensated and you lost your job. And it's like, we can't live in a world where that's the way it is either. Like it does need to be a balance.
Yes, definitely.
And so it's like I think like both sides, when you get too extreme on either side, it's just like, all right, but you have to we still have to deal with the reality of human nature, which is that, and it's true, like corporations, like they get to a point like where they will break environmental law because the cost of the fine is less than the cost of like doing it in like honorably, or in the sense that it doesn't destroy the planet. Yeah. So you're just like, well, that's not a good system either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do to fix that, but it's like, Wild West capitalism doesn't work either. It's like, there has to be some kind of balance. The greater good does matter at some point.
Yeah, and that's why things need to be put more in balance in general. As hardcore as I could be, you're right about especially when you talk about the free market and corporations, and they already, as it is, will try to abuse the system. If not for this,
it's natural to that kind of struggle. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Eventually, because that's the whole thing with economics, right? Everyone's facing the same restrictions. It's like you find some people will work longer hours, or they'll figure out a more efficient system like Amazon or McDonald's. But eventually you are faced with the fact like, well, if we just cut this environmental corner, or if we just cut this labor corner, we would make more money. And it's like, okay, but now it's becoming inhuman.
Yeah. You do have to balance that out.
You have to face that reality, as much as the reality that government intervention doesn't work. You can't have it both ways and say that human interaction, like you know what I mean, like that there's a natural flow to this, like but also deny when it gets bad on your side too. You have to, you got it's balanced like everything else in life.
Yeah, perfectly balanced as everything should be, which most things are not. Another thing when it comes to like. I know
Islington girl.
What she said?
I have a solution. Let me stay home and do laundry. Guys, scoop up the Islington girl. All right.
Yeah.
She's you know what I mean? Wife material right there. You live in Canada. There you go. She just wants to make sandwiches and do laundry. You hit the jackpot.
You know what? To piggyback off that, I think times were better when that was the case. I think men felt better about working when it was like, I go home. There's a wife
only for
there.
straight white men.
They say that, but fucking before you motherfuckers interfered, black marriage was black marriages stayed together at a higher percent than white marriages in the 50s. So
yep.
Take that.
And the children too. There was another thing like children
Less
in
children
wedlock versus out. Like it's amazing. It really is incredible. It's like, I don't advocate for people how to think, right? Like I don't think you should. I don't think anyone should dictate that. But it's just like, okay, BLM, okay, Antifa, okay, all you fucking radical communists. It's like you have a problem with these oppressive systems in these, and how the inequality in these cities. Yet universally, those cities vote for Democrats or fake Republicans like Bloomberg, where it's like year in and year out for decades, and you don't correlate the issue, like the problem.
Yeah.
You think just giving a Republican a shot could help things? I'm not saying it will, but it's like you haven't thought that part through. You didn't connect those dots at all.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Think about this. I keep saying this, shout out to The Wire. The city of Baltimore has one of the most expensive education systems in the country. And it's like failure across the board is one of the lowest rates of reading, one of the lowest test rates. I talked about the lowest graduation rates. The one kid in the one school who had a 0.1 GPA and was in the middle of his class as a senior. I mean, it's just a disaster. But they keep pumping more money. At some point, you have to ask, hey, what's going on with this school system and why is it so inefficient and so terrible? But they never
having no concern for the results of their policies.
Yeah.
None. It's amazing. It's like year in, year out, no concern for the results. It's like, how do you ignore that forever? I don't understand. And it's I was watching Kerry Smith the other day, and she highlighted all these articles that were literally saying, verbatim, we need to abandon critical thinking.
Man. And we've even covered the one teacher talking about black kids don't critical think. And there's this push against critical thinking.
Critical thinking is white supremacy.
It is. I was just going to say
like that.
Yeah. Critical thinking is white supremacy. It's racist. It's racist to critically think.
If you're still believing these people, I can't help you.
I don't think most people believe these people. I think most people don't realize these people exist. Normies don't know that. Like, so much of this is normies.
Yeah, I guess you're
the
right.
Normie class just doesn't know that there are people that do this until their kid is getting taught critical race theory and is coming home with like a fucking hammer and a sickle sticker on their backpack. Then they're like, what the fuck is going on?
And because they do a good job of, first of all, most people appeal to authority kind of universally. You know what I mean? Like if someone's a teacher or, an educator, you assume that their authority carries weight. You don't assume that they have an agenda that's going to mislead you. And so what they do, because I had the same thing when I went to college, it's they collect all these facts. They cherry pick all these facts and they collect them to you in this bundle. And you're just like, oh, like when you hear them, you're like, that's horrible. It's like, but there's no context. There's no like scrutiny to them. You just hear them and you have an emotional reaction. And then because of that emotional reaction, now you believe in this new worldview. But the thing about the worldview is it collapses in practice and they don't ever address that.
No, because it's the emotional reaction. And it's just the fact, I believe it was P.T. Barnum, it's easier to fool someone to convince someone they've been fooled. So once someone has adopted a belief,
that's well put.
It's so hard to get someone to roll that back, even with evidence. They'll either deny the evidence.
That's why I think they double down harder, because I think even in their own hearts, they know it's bullshit.
Yeah, they know, but they can't allow themselves to know or something like that. It's just, they have to, people hate the idea that they could possibly be wrong. And then another thing, a lot of these people have invested time, and the quote, boy George, time doesn't get you time. Time makes
and careers.
They got something real. Careers, time, your reputation becomes X, Y, or Z. So you just have to keep going with it.
Your fan base, like everyone just looks to you to rally against Republicans. And then you just keep doing it. Like that's why you see a lot of these left-wing pundits they look exhausted all the time. Yeah,
I was just gonna think. Imagine if you were Cenk Uygur and last year you said privately in your head, "Yo, this Biden guy, nah, I can't do it. This whole everything here looks crazy." If you thought that privately, it didn't matter. You still had to go do your gimmick, yell at people. You could be who knows what these people think is private.
But it's like you see them, like if they had to live under the rule that they want to impart on people, they would not be as they wouldn't be a rah about it. Like you see, it's like they want everyone to stay in these lockdowns, yet they'll do the Met Gala with no masks. You know what I mean? They'll do the Emmys with no mask. It's like if they had to actually live under their own policies, that they would. That's why leftism is elitism, because it's for you unwashed mash. It's not for me. I get it. Me and my friends don't have to abide by that. It's not. It's just so like it's bullshit. It's utter bullshit, and we're being gaslit as a nation, And it's just like, no, actually, no, go fuck yourself. Disagree.
Yeah.
That's why you end up with a guy like Trump, because he's just like, yeah, I don't play this game. Everyone's like, fuck yes. Plus, he was funny. I miss that guy.
Yeah.
Forbidden Ruin says, Trump set up and funded programs to undo these BLM damages. Creepy Joe defunded them completely, but no one speaks that truth. Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, Creepy Joe defunded a lot of interesting kind of cool things that Trump had established. Because
I still think Trump was a good president. And I mean that unbiasedly in the sense that, like, I didn't vote for him the first time because I thought it was a joke. And, I thought it was all a big psyop to get, Hillary elected. So I was like, this is all bullshit, everybody. And then this guy gets elected and runs amok. And as he's doing it, I'm like, I think he's doing a good job. Like, the economy's doing well. He's like, seems principled on his matters. His foreign policy was really strong. It's like, I still think he was a good president.
Yeah. You know what, me and Wake Down the same vibe. Yeah. And I've had this take. I think Trump was a character too. I do think it was all a work.
I don't, though.
I do, because we've never been this close to communism, and they use Trump as a boogeyman to make. I feel like they're able to say critical theory and capitalism
that would
is white
suck
supremacy.
If that was true. If that was true, that would really suck.
But my thinking behind this is, and let's say he wasn't. I could be totally wrong, but he definitely helped things go along. They're able to make these outrageous claims that everything is racist, that critical thinking is racist, that capitalism is racist, it's all white supremacy, all because they were able to use Trump as this boogeyman, that everything they associate, they got people.
Why would he do it, though? What's his motivation to do it? What's his motivation to go along with it and become one of the most vilified men in history? His whole family is demonized. He doesn't even have social media. Is he that much of a rube that he would get bamboozled by all these people? Like who did not compose themselves in a way. They lost their fucking minds collectively. It's like, I didn't see a lot of people who it felt calculated. They were emotional wrecks. People, like, I had this acting coach who, now granted, he wasn't, he's not in the elites, but he started smoking again because he couldn't handle that Trump was in office. And it was all this ridiculous, and people were maniacs. And I don't mean just the people on the ground. I mean in media. Like, it was the people that are on the inside.
Into an army. They triggered those people, and they made them into an army of useful idiots.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're able to get anything done and just basically change the laws at will.
Yeah, I don't think I don't believe that, because it seemed to me was everyone was shocked. Even the people on the inside, I don't even think they planned it enough to, rig the election. They're like, it couldn't possibly happen. Like, they were stunned when everyone was just collectively like, what just happened? He got elected? Like, no one saw that coming. And so it's like, I don't buy it. It didn't feel planned to me at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I'm a conspiracy theory naturally. That's because conspiracy theories naturally, how I am. I always tend to think, no, there's something up. There's something up. I think he did it because of that's the script. Because
I just don't
I believe in nefarious globalists who are going through a lot of shit to shape society how they want. I also know that he was golfing with the Clintons before he was president. And I also know that somehow people talk about the narrative that he wasn't a Istafo beforehand. But
I don't see that. Like, it was what at George H. Walker's Bush's funeral or whatever. Like, fucking George W. like didn't even acknowledge that guy. If anyone's a goddamn globalist, it's the Bush family. And it's they were still like, no,
you don't do it in public.
You're a pig. I don't know, man. Maybe.
I know.
Then you know what? I'll tell you what. They are all genius performers, all of them. And as coming from someone who's spent a lifetime trying to be a performer, these guys are some of the best. I don't buy it. I don't believe it.
Yeah. Listen, I rather you be right. I'd rather it just be we could take some of this stuff that we get on face value, but I'm awake now. I think they're all actors, man. They're actors playing.
I don't know.
Actors.
That seems almost nihilistic. That almost seems like black pill.
I guess it could, but to me, it's just like I rather just know what I'm up against and know what's happening in my head.
Respectfully, I get that.
If that is the case, and I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say: regardless of whether or not he intended to be, he was definitely used as a proxy boogeyman for them to demonize everything they didn't like, and he was definitely used to trigger an army of blue-haired land whales and useful idiots so they can get whatever they want done.
Agreed, but it definitely felt like the Koof was their tool to dethrone this guy. And I don't know why, if it's all a big conspiracy, why would they need a tool? Like, they're running everything. He would comply, right? He would just go along with the script, and he would just lose the election. But he lost his mind too. Like, he was going down swinging. He's like, he practically encouraged people to storm the Capitol. Like,
exactly.
he didn't. But he didn't seem like that was part of the script. That didn't feel like planned.
That felt extra. That's when I started to have the theories when they stormed the damn Capitol. I said, wait a second, this motherfucker, he was the one encouraging it. He was able to do rallies. I'm sorry, everybody. This show has been everywhere, right?
Whatever.
But this is what we do. So he was able to do rallies everywhere in the fucking country, sometimes multiple places in the day. He couldn't put up a fucking barricade. Plus, I think there's a video showing the Capitol Police let people into that building.
I saw that video. I think
it's a major side. Yep, with Trump's compliance, you don't get the January 6th. I think that was a psyop that he was allowed to. He allowed.
He did not seem in control of any of that. He didn't seem in control of that to me. It seemed like he was kind of falling apart. And maybe I didn't see it as
not to go to question. That's what they wanted you to think. I know it sounds crazy.
They elect this guy. They elect this guy, and then they all like lose their mind. Like, it felt there was so much collusion with the whole left, with like all of social media, all of the tech companies, everyone. It's like they all got the memo. I don't buy it.
Well, they all got the memo on this agenda. They all got the memo on all these other things.
But let's all pretend. Let's all put on a big show.
They don't know. No, here's the thing. A lot of useful idiots don't know. There's only a few. There's only the higher ups, the Bilderberg types. They're the ones who pull the string. I hate saying Bilderberg. I hate saying globalist. I don't know what other word you want me to use.
Conspiracy.
Globalist. Yeah, the big wigs. They're the only ones that know. Everybody else, there's probably a few.
But the Trump family is in on that.
Yes.
And so the son, still going after them, still talking about the future. Come on.
That's his work. Ric Flair doesn't really hate Sting. They're just they drink about it in the back. But when they go out there, they fucking fight each other.
I think they really hate Trump. I don't think so.
No, there are definitely people who didn't get the memo, who don't need the memo, as Kai said. I'm glad I'm not the only one on this trip, that there are other people with me.
I mean, look,
at least understand.
I'm not saying, like, I told you, I thought the whole thing was rigged from the beginning until he got elected and started doing things. Then I thought, like, oh, either he changed his mind, which I would believe that. I would believe that he was put in that position and then was like, actually, I think I'm going to do some things with this position. They're like, whoa, no, you're not. And he's like, yeah, no, I fucking am. And so just started like kicking ass and taking names. And then like that's when they all lost their minds. Like, I thought we had this guy on a leash and we fucking don't. I would believe that. But I don't believe that the whole thing was a work, because this guy was too based. He was doing all the things they don't want him to do. He improved the economy. He helped the working class. He helped minorities. He stopped the foreign wars or significantly reduced them. It's like, no, this guy was
8 months.
Okay, but that doesn't mean he wasn't actually off the reservation doing what they didn't want him to do. I don't think so, man. I really don't. Because he was exercising presidential powers people didn't even know he had.
And they standardize it for Joe to use now.
Well, yeah, okay, that's fair. But still, they could just exploit it. Like, it doesn't mean that it was a plan. They could have just realized that this guy uncovered these things because he had like a team of lawyers constantly going over everything he ever did, which was genius, because it was like, as much as you didn't like him, everything he did was legal, which they kept trying to nail him on something illegal, and there was nothing. And it's like, they did a whole impeachment as a show. Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah. I think that's a bit too tidy.
I mean, because I don't trust, like, I believe there's a world beneath the world, so to speak. Not literally, unless, actually, I didn't play a clip.
Hollow Earth theory.
but not necessarily Hollow Earth, but just like Shadow. They talk about deep state, and we just assume, well, Trump's not a part of the deep state. He's the one pointing it out.
I didn't assume it. I'm just using the evidence I have.
But listen, my evidence is based upon what they've been able to do with society as Trump as boogeyman. That's what I say. I say, hey, they have been able. I don't know if they would have normalized this much socialism this fast if they didn't have a boogeyman demon like Trump to associate everything with. To the point where if you're a black conservative, you're considered a black white supremacist, and a woman in a fucking ape costume can throw an egg at you and get no media attention. But if anything else happens to like a leftist or somebody it's the worst thing ever.
It's a pretty inelegant way to do it, though, because what they've done is galvanized millions across the world against any of this shit. So far, so much so that like we are really suspicious of a medication. You know what I mean? We're like, this is, what the fuck are you up to? Like, you know what I mean? We are collectively like, and resisting, and you have governors completely acting in contradiction to any of this stuff in a way that makes them look terrible, and they don't care. They're just doubling down on it. It's like, if your goal was control, you're doing a shit job of it, because it's like Americans, by and large, are not down with it. It's just this, the elite cities that are still down with it. But I don't know, as a people, I don't see it working.
Listen, there's a lot of pushback, and I think a lot of that, and this is also going to sound off the fucking rails, but hey, fucking even Alex Jones talked about it. They got that lower magic concept. So basically, because a lot of these people I know it sounds wacky, but they are into that occultist and Molech and all that other shit. So there is something about letting people know what you're going to do before you do it. So that if that's how information has gotten out. Now, to your point, they have galvanized a lot of opposition. They have galvanized where there's a lot of people who are against what the elites are doing, against all the agenda, against all the craziness, the communism, against all of that. You're right. But I just don't think they care about us because they don't really have to account for us because they've societally made us deplorables.
Yeah, but a lot of those people are armed. A lot of those people they do have power, and they have, influence.
True.
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like if you wanted to control everyone, you would just do a better job. I don't know. Like I'm not saying it's impossible. I just don't think that's what happened. Like I said, I think he was put there as a puppet, as like the way the producers in that movie tried to make the worst musical ever and ended up being a hit.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what ended up with Trump. I think they're like, let's find the worst possible candidate. We'll promote him by giving him all this free press, by everyone hating on him. Because that's the first time I even heard about Trump running for president. It was that he's the worst guy in the world and you can never vote for him. And so it's like, I feel like they tried to do that. Even he was stunned at the outcome. And then he's like, all right, I guess. And then just was like, you know what? No, I'm going to do a good job. And I think he did. And people were like, no, this can't happen. Like, you are corrupting our agenda. I would believe that narrative over the fact that he was there and it was all an elegant work, because it was not elegant. Like they didn't even have the narrative down. But they didn't even have their own narrative down. Like in the beginning of the Koof stuff, like they contradicted themselves. They were like, oh, Trump doesn't want to allow travel from China, or whatever. That makes him racist. And then a week later, Trump's not doing enough. Like, I don't even think they know what they're doing.
But normies just followed along with it. They didn't even parse it and care. Not
fucking normies. They don't count.
But they do, though. That's the
they count, but they're the sheep. You can't use their brains as like,
To your point, he says not every event is pre-planned. Some unforeseen things happen. They have to adjust accordingly. They have the money and power to do it. It's possible.
I think that's true.
I do too. I think that is possible that you're right, and I'm seeing the forest from the trees. I'm too wrong as far as him being a controlled opposition guy, and that he was just somebody who was supposed to be just be this dummy candidate, and he just decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it, and he pissed them off.
Yeah, I think that's
potential.
What
let's say, even if that is the case, they still used him as this posse boogeyman to get a lot of their agenda done.
Inarguable. But it's like that old quote: "Never let a good disaster go to waste," or whatever. True. It's like I would look at that more like they figured out how to exploit it, and because they finally did get control of everything. Once the Koof came out, they did regain power, and you could feel his influence waning with people, and like his control of the whole situation, like just went away. Even though he was probably right, like the whole Biden laptop thing, like was so like blatant, and that just wasn't a story so far that the New York Post had their Twitter banned. The New York fucking Post had their Twitter account canceled. It's like I don't see that as a controlled, like he's on our side. They wouldn't need to do stuff like that if that was the case.
Unless again, that's the act. That's a part of the act.
It's too clumsy. It's not an act. They're reactionary. If they were in control of the narrative, why would they have to be so reactionary? Why would they have to scramble to like find ways to contradict this guy? That's why I don't think it was a work. I think they kept trying to subvert him, and they eventually did. But I don't think that was the plan all along. It doesn't seem like that to me.
I don't know.
Well, regardless, do you want to see some clips of the Chappelle? What's it called?
Closer?
The protests? No, the protests that are going on right now.
I hadn't seen any clip. I didn't know they were going on. Yeah. Let's see that.
Yeah,
Shit! I didn't realize how late it was.
It's like news. Oh yeah, but it's like news right now. I guess there's like big protests going on outside Netflix or whatever. You want to see this?
Yeah.
We like Dave. Look at this guy. Ooh.
Why are you breaking my sign? Why are you breaking my sign? Don't have free speech rights? Don't have free speech rights for all of you?
That guy looks like law enforcement. He's a big dude. Oh, what a cocksucker. What a cocksucker. Wow, that guy looks silly as fuck. But that guy, he destroyed his sign, and then he goes, he's got a weapon. What a little bitch.
Jesus.
That guy needs his ass kicked. What
so
a fucking pusswhack.
So this Dave Chappelle thing is so ridiculous. And one thing I've said, and I'm going to kind of bring the thing here. So they're fucking, and maybe there were protests out on Netflix last year, but when Cuties came out with their protests,
no, of course
were there
not.
people in the street? Because I didn't see it. If there were,
it's narratives. It's not about. It's just narratives.
Jesus.
It's not about principles. We know that. And like Netflix got their own narrative with Dave. And the thing is, like, I didn't watch the special, so this is all conjecture and hearsay. But but what I heard Ryan Long break it down, and he's like, essentially, what he was saying was that, well, you know, trans people, blah blah, but black people still have it worse, or something to that effect. That was Ryan Long's summation of it, and I tend to trust his opinion on things. He's pretty sharp. So it's like the idea, like I like Dave Chappelle. Excuse me. I like Dave Chappelle. I think he's funny. I think he's a tad overrated, but I do think he's a good comic. But it's like the idea that he's contrary to the system. It's like, yes and no, but he's not Eric July. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he still walks the line on certain issues, especially like the black issue. Like he still says what he's supposed to say. So he's not this crazy rebel.
Even this trans issue, he called himself a TERF, which means what was it? Trans exclusion radicary feminist. Feminist. Yeah. It still includes feminism. So he's still in the leftist sphere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like he's still like, you know what I mean? Like, and so Netflix is, everyone's like, I stand with Dave. I'm like, I mean, I guess.
This is what
I just stand with free speech.
They're gonna pull this special.
Is that? Are you predicting that, or is it proof?
Yeah. Is that what you think is gonna happen, or has that officially happened? I think
he's just predicting that.
Yeah, I kind of think that's gonna happen too. What he said. I think they're gonna pull the special, and I think they're gonna probably hire back all the employees.
So the story is Netflix employees stage a walkout in the wake of CEO's response to controversial Dave Chappelle special. The Trans Employee Research Group at Netflix. Oh, there's a Trans Employee Resource Group.
Got to research trans employees.
Oy.
And it's a prediction.
Is planning a company-wide walkout on October 20th in protest of remarks made by joint CEO Ted Sarandos regarding Dave Chappelle's recently released comedy special, The Closer. Blah blah blah, anti-trans, yada yada. Trying to see what the news though. Like I want to see. Elliot Page is supporting the walkout, as well as Jamila Jamil. I don't know who that is.
I'm not sure either.
This woman looks like a treat. Ashley Marie Preston. This isn't cancel culture. Okay, but an avoidance of accountability. You can rephrase it however you want, but you're just telling people that they can't say the things you disagree with. So
it's violence. It causes violence, don't you know? People will be killed because of what Dave Chappelle said.
Dude, this one guy is taking on the whole fucking crowd. God bless him. I'm looking at this guy right here. He's the one who's
I can't see this clip. I just see are you talking about?
No, it's still this guy.
Oh.
Like he's taking on the whole crowd.
He's got a weapon.
He's got a weapon.
He's laughing.
This
guy rules.
Drop my weapon? Yes. Okay. And leave. There's my weapon.
This guy don't give a fuck.
I'm not suppressing anything.
What is she doing? What is with these women at these protests acting like everyone is their children?
Well, yeah, but like if he so much as raised his hand to her, like then he'd be you know what I mean? They'd get him, like they would be able to subdue him and take,
But like,
be right.
I'm just gonna walk around this like that would creep me out so much. It would enrage me. I'm so glad
I mean that woman lives in an absolute bubble. They all do. I mean, the other guy had a tax the rich shirt on. You're like, oh, these the leftists. I mean, it's just, whether this is the type of thing that's like it's all a psyop or these people really believe it or it's a mixture of both. It's like, okay, whatever. It's all bullshit. Like even if they genuinely believe it and none of this is orchestrated, it's still fucking bullshit. Either one is bullshit. It's not like I think they have a point until I learn that it's all nonsense. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think all this. I don't think everything everywhere is orchestrated. I just think higher stuff. As far as this shit, I can't believe they're really protesting. I mean, I can believe it, but it's like, really?
I just want to see more of this guy.
Yeah,
I just want to see more of this dude. I love this guy. He's great.
We're trying not to have any.
I'm just here to say that jokes are funny, people. Dave Chappelle is a funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
I don't know why all the violence. I don't know why all the hate. Dave Chappelle.
You made me happy. He's celebrating
Look at that girl losing her mind. Well, I assume it's a girl. She is losing her fucking
that gender
mind.
Bigot.
Oh, this is funny.
Yeah.
And it's funny too. Like that's obviously in LA. Look how sunny and nice it is there. Yeah. And all these people are just angry and miserable. And it's like, just go to the beach and shut the fuck up. Get over yourself, man.
Out of all the things to protest Netflix for, because Dave Chappelle said some jokes you didn't like.
Honest to God. This guy rules, though. I love it. I'm just saying, jokes are funny. Dave's a funny guy. This guy's great. Dave Chappelle.
They took my stick. My stick. They took it. My side. I need my poster board. It was my money.
That guy rules.
Man.
I love that guy. That guy, I want him on the show. He rules.
Yeah. We need to get if they can wake up this early.
This early.
Says
2 in the afternoon.
These people don't go to the beach, dude. That's where all the attractive, sensible people are. And Cinch Your Dildo brings up a point I've already covered in a past episode, which is why you should sub to the show, because we're doing daily shows. Tired of people sucking any dick or any celeb that says something they agree with. I've said
you can suck our dicks though.
Yeah.
If
you're a girl.
Anybody, go ahead. I'm saying metaphorically suck our dicks. I don't mean literally, unless you really want to. But it's no, I think it's I mean, he's not wrong, and the people turn these a mild disagreement into like, that's my guy, like they're gonna go to war behind Dave Chappelle. It's like, all right. I mean, he did look. He's the one who coined the alphabet community. He coined that term. Mm-hmm. It was in Sticks and Stones, and it was a really good point that he made. And the weird thing is, people make him out to be this anti-trans guy. He's really empathetic to the trans situation. He just does it in a funny way, where he said the whole thing where his joke last year was the Asian thing, where he's like, this is how I feel inside. He's like, if I felt like I was Chinese inside, like how challenging that would be. And people, like he was extraordinarily empathetic. He just sort of pierced the bullshit in the propaganda. And that was the issue. That's the issue. It's not they try to turn it into everything that it isn't. Like, oh, it's going to encourage violence. No, it isn't. Shut your fucking face. You're encouraging more violence. But
shit.
What, you got to go?
Yeah, I didn't realize how late it's getting. God damn it.
All right. That's
damn
okay.
It. I want to go another like hour and a half because
I know.
Like, wait, real quick. What was this you had up?
It's just another article on this story. It's just about. I guess this is like another clip of that awesome dude. I'm in charge of the protest now. This guy rules. This guy's great. Who is he?
Trans lives matter. How many? I bet you none of these people are trans. They're all allies.
But also,
all latte allies.
Why would him making jokes not make trans lives matter?
You're what is it? As people, you're denying their existence.
But he's not.
Yeah, he is because he's a bigot.
But none of that's true. Like jokes don't like. If anything, it validates your existence. Like if he felt trans lives didn't matter, he wouldn't bring it up because it doesn't matter.
Actually, give me 1 second. I'll be right back because I don't want to end quite, just abruptly. Hold on.
All right, I'm gonna watch this clip then. It's like it's a clip from
a lot of the LGBTQ community doesn't know the baby's history. He's a wild guy. He once shot a and killed him in Walmart. Oh, this is true. Google it. The baby shot and killed a in Walmart in North Carolina. Nothing bad happened to his career. Do you see where I'm going with this? In our country, you can shoot and kill a but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings.
What is the problem with that? I don't understand. It's obviously true. There's a whole group of people whose feelings were hurt. He's right. He's 100% right. It's like that meme with the Hannibal Buress. Why are you booing me? I'm right. It's like spot on. What's to disagree with? I don't understand. All you're doing is proving his point.
Well, the point is, you're a bigot, and
my mistake. Then I'm wrong. Then I apologize on behalf of the culture crime fighters. I didn't mean to insult or deride the feelings or encourage violence on any trans person whatsoever. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
If you're not willing to suck a trans woman's pee-pee, to quote Cinch and Dildo, you're a bigot. You're transphobic, obviously. If you're not willing...
How big of a pee-pee are we talking? I mean, is there any Oh, no, then.
Stop being a bigot, Matt.
It's too big. It's too big.
No. I'm hope this isn't, you know what the thing is though? The people who come up with this shit aren't actually the groups. Some ideologue, none of those people at that protest, I don't think, at least that I could see, were transgender. They were just the allies. They were just, there are a few older ladies with the man haircut, but like they're mostly just allies.
It just looked like a bunch of leftists, yeah.
Yeah. And this is
who
just
don't have like a job, obviously.
Because
it's the middle of a day on a Tuesday. You know what I mean? So like,
but you know what's funny? They didn't have a job, but they didn't look poor. They looked...
No, they weren't.
They probably were like...
Poor people don't have time for this shit.
Yeah. They looked like they were well-to-do, to be honest. A bunch of well-to-do, middle class, no offense,
they're
Caucasians.
Probably... It's fucking Hollywood. They're probably hoping to network.
Yeah,
they probably were, man. They're probably trying to get some fucking jobs out of this protest.
Like, yeah, I met an agent at the protest.
Yeah, I'm a writer. Got their fucking business card with them. I guarantee it.
Yeah, it probably was. I'm sure that happened.
Fucking scumbags in Hollywood. It's a disgusting town.
Yeah.
Disgusting town full of disgusting people. I want to see this clip. I don't know what this is, but I want to see it. Ding, ding, ding.
Back up, guys. Back up. Whoa, Just back up, guys. Off the car. Off the car.
Hey, Dave. What up, Dave? Can we get tickets?
Look at him laughing.
Hey, what about Mount
You upset the LGBTQ community.
No, look, he's just laughing. He's not saying a word. Just smiling and laughing. That's great. Just someone who cares about funny.
Yeah.
Just cares about funny.
Yeah.
He rules.
And that's that video really didn't show much. It's a guy.
No,
asking
it
him.
didn't.
You probably didn't even hear him, and he just going by his
He's
day,
just
smiling at
laughing.
fans.
I mean, look, and even watching that clip, you're like, Dave is funny. I mean, he's funny. Like, it's like, I don't, when he did the 8 minutes and 24 seconds or whatever about George Floyd, and still, he is still like the somber tone and the whole thing. It's just validating that this is the real problem with the black community. It's like, yeah, it isn't, but okay.
No,
and it's like,
cool.
yeah, it's like, all right, it's like number 475 on the list, but okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's, even that where you're just like, all right, you roll your eyes through it. But when he is being funny, he's hilarious. He's just a funny guy.
I agree. You said you think he's overrated? Question mark?
To a degree. Yeah. I mean,
And it might be.
fervor. I mean, I think like when Tom the other night or whatever, the cocktail lounge like 2 weeks ago, he was saying like, Killing Them Softly was his best special. And I'm like, I don't agree with that at all.
That's one of the older ones, right?
Yeah, it's like...
And actually, I didn't say anything. I do agree with that. I like his older stuff better. I think where I think he's overrated, where I was tending to agree with you, is like I feel almost a piggyback off what Central Tildo said earlier before I left for a second. A lot of people not necessarily suck his dick because they agree with him, but he's more, base now. He's saying things you're quote unquote not supposed to say.
Right.
But back then he was just a good comedian making jokes for the point of funny. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I kind of like that better than him being.
But he's always making. But he's been making social points his whole career. Like that's his brand. True,
but it's been in the name. It's still been in the name of making you laugh. Yeah, like
100%. 100%. He would always make you laugh with the truth. That's like that.
Yeah.
He's a good comedian. Like
He's
that's
a
what
good
a good comedian's supposed to do.
But it's like
Patrice.
Yeah, like you still gotta like the song. I don't care what message you're trying to put in it. It still has to. You still have to make something that's entertaining. So that's why I appreciate Dave Chappelle, and I actually like the older stuff better than the newer stuff. Not that I dislike it. So that's why I kind of.
Well, just why I don't prefer the older stuff is because I felt like he never stuck the landing. I felt like he'd make a really good premise, a really good joke, but then he'd silly his way out at the end. Like he would talk, and he would always do something that I'm like, wait, that's not real. Like he would talk about a girl's. Well, yeah, but in a way that would take me out of the joke. Like he would say, like this girl's titties are popping out of her turtleneck. I'm like, that's not how turtlenecks work. Like, so I'm out, like I'm already, and then you like a 4-year-old selling drugs, and you're like a 4-year-old, like.
It was funny though.
I didn't, but I just would lose because it was like he's making these great points, but then he would do something so silly that I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just nitpicking, but it would take me out of it, and I didn't like it. But I felt with Sticks and Stones, he never did that. He stuck the fucking landing on every single joke. I was always very impressed.
So I have the opposite opinion. I like the silly stuff. I like the absurdist type thing.
Okay.
Because again, I'm here to laugh. I'm not here to hear any. I mean, if you got points, cool. But I'm here to just laugh. Yeah, 4-year-old's not really selling drugs. It has a kid or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course,
I got kids to feed.
Got kids to feed. Yeah, it's that's the point. It's absurd, and so you can laugh at it.
It's still funny. I mean, it is still funny, but I guess it just.
But
to
I
me,
get your point.
Yeah,
It's more jokey joke, and it's less. Let me make a point and have a clear, concise point be expressed over a period of time, which is what he does more now.
And he does a great job. But he makes terrific points and that are very funny. But regardless, Central Dildo thinks a 4-year-old drug dealer with kids is hilarious. Well, I don't actually. I don't find that imagery funny. What it's mocking a portion of the baby.
Well, you know what? KMFS brings up a solid point. He's exaggerating, but in the hood, you do see kids doing shit you wouldn't imagine. So there's an element of reality to it. If it was an 8-year-old, it would be less. It would be too real to be funny. He's right. There are 8, 10, 12-year-olds.
Interesting point. I don't know. I feel like that's just a microcosm of an example. But I just remember I felt like a lot of times like, no, man, stick the fucking finish your point. Like you're making a great point. Don't just escape it. Like even in one of his specials, he talked about this guy who said something racist to him on the street, and then I guess they. like somehow like they found the kid and his mother like apologized, and he made this joke about how like, you know, he wanted to, like, he said like, all right, if I just, it'll be cool if I can just like bang your mom. And it was like this, it was funny. It was, you know, a good joke. But then like he didn't explain how the actual situation got resolved. I'm like, whoa, I was invested in that whole story. Can you please finish the story? Like,
Yeah.
that's the type of thing. Is I feel like he would get like 80% of it, and then the last 20% would just be like, wait, where's the rest? What you finish? Please finish. And he wouldn't. And I guess that was the thing I didn't like about it. Whereas in Sticks and Stones, I felt like he stuck the landing on every single point and joke, and I was like blown away. I thought it was the best comedy special I've ever seen.
I like
was
Sticks
blown
and
away. Yeah.
But I
Anyway.
prefer some stuff. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for being here. Please show back tomorrow. Please show up next week on Matt's channel. So you haven't subbed to Matt. We're doing the Vigilante Williamson show daily. So please check that out. We have clips and other stuff, clips to come out later. We will be on the MF Cocktail Lounge. Maybe I'll be late because of work.
But I'll be there.
Yeah. So
on time this week, 9:30.
Cool.
Cool. Keep an eye out for
and you got the Band of Brothers thing, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's tonight.
Oh, yeah.
My channel. I think we're doing episodes 7, 8, maybe 8. Actually, I need to figure. I gotta talk to Pat S. But we are. I'm definitely at 7 o'clock on my channel, 7 Central. We are talking Band of Brothers. So come on over and talk about it. Come check me out.
Yeah. So Pat S, please get with Foulball for that.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody else for being here. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged, share, subscribe, please do that. And even if you've done none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. And thank you for checking out the Culture Crime Fighters. Time to hit the outro. Peace.
Deuces.